Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. This is going to be the preview stream ahead of Matchday 4. Don't worry, there will be a deadline stream starting in probably about 3 or so hours. But I thought we'd, do one of these. We did one of these last week. It went quite well. I'm basically just going to kind of run through some data, answer as many of your guys' questions as possible. We'll do team ratings in the deadline stream as per usual. But today's stream, purely just going to be answering as many of your guys' questions, so get them in. We'll try and work for as many as we possibly can. We'll go through my team, how it's looking at the moment, and then, like I said, just run through some data. If you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as we are ridiculously close to that 5k subscriber mark. It could be hit today, realistically, with 2 streams. It could be hit today, and if it is hit today, what would you like me to see me do? I'm going to celebrate because it might happen on stream. What would you like to see me do if it does happen? But yeah, let me know. Get those questions in. Let's see how many we can answer today across both streams. Like I said, though, if you want to like the stream as well, it pushes it out to more people, which is immense. Which is pretty immense. So yeah, let's start working through some of your guys' questions. Then we'll move on to my team and some data like that. Liam has asked, any word on Havertz starting? Well, apparently, Havertz is going to make way for Fulkirk. I saw that from, is it DELD? Their newspaper, their main newspaper in Germany. Apparently, yeah, that's going to happen. So yeah, that's a little bit of an interesting one. Is Akanji too risky? I think even if Italy score, he will deliver in ball recoveries. Yeah, he's been pretty immense in ball recoveries. The only thing I would say is, though, like, there's better teams with clean sheet odds, as we'll come on to see throughout the rest of this preview. But I definitely think, like, he's a decent shout. Players with good minutes and high likelihood of making it far in the tournament. Yeah, I think that's, especially if you've not got any chips left. There is a poll going around whether or not you have a wild card or limitless or any chips like that. There is a poll going around, so get your votes in for that one as well, because it will be quite interesting to see how many of kind of the audience have chips left. I don't have any chips left. I know quite a few people who don't have any chips left, but at the same time, a lot of people have wild cards left. So it's going to be interesting to see, obviously, how many people have stuff like that. So I definitely think if you've not got one, you're going to need players that have high likelihood of playing and have a high kind of, if you like, likelihood of progressing throughout the tournament as well. Should I double up on the Spain defence? Yeah, I definitely think that's a defence I would be looking to target. We'll come on to look at some data for that in a little bit as well. Also, is there a third place playoff and does it count towards Euro Fantasy? I don't think there is in the Euros, I don't think there is a third place. I think that's just for the World Cup. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, someone, but yeah, I think that's it. Is Cucurella a nailed starter for Spain? Yeah, I think he should start, to be honest. Are you going to rate teams? Yeah, that'll be done in the deadline stream a little bit later. This one's purely just going to be running through some data, answering your guys' questions, taking a look at my team, kind of, just like a regular preview stream, if you like. Is Gakpo risky because he's not playing striker for the Netherlands? No, I think he's still a decent shout. Like, his expected data, again, I've got some more data on that. When we get to that section, we'll go through that, because I guarantee we're probably going to get quite a few questions asked for that one. Jake has confirmed in the chat, no third place. Cheers for that one, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't think there was. I thought it was just for, like, the World Cup. I didn't think it was for, like, the Euros, to be honest. Which is a shame. It'd have been nice to have an extra game, but at the same time, they always feel a bit dead, and I don't think I've ever watched the third place kind of game, because neither team are that bothered, realistically. Right, let's start off with my team from last week. Obviously, I did play the Limitless chip. Now I've used all my chips so far. We are currently around 35k in the world. It wasn't the best week, but we did have some pretty standout players. Eriksen, Grimaldo, Gahey. Mbappe got his goal. Could have been a lot better, but overall, yeah, it was an okay week. It wasn't the best, but I feel like a lot of people were in that predicament. I actually did quite well compared to some other people, and you know what? I'll take it. It was an okay score. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst, but continued, obviously, the trajectory up the rankings. We're now 35k, puts us in a good position for the knockout stages. Obviously, I don't kind of have any chips left, so I do have to play it a little bit more precautious, but I feel I've already done quite a lot of hard work, and I'm starting to see a lot of people's teams look quite similar. Obviously, if people have got a wild card next week, they've basically got a free hit this week to kind of just attack this week. That's probably where people are going to make that margin back if you've still got the wild card. If not, though, I think I've got a pretty good advantage over most people. 35k, we've done quite well with a lot of other player picks, so I'm pretty happy where we are at the moment. Moving on to the team for this week. This is how my team is currently lining up. There's still one or two players that I think I'm a little bit unsure of. Probably Theo Hernandez and Musiala are the only ones I'm thinking about maybe changing. Other than that, though, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty set with the team, to be honest. Obviously, we'll talk about it more in the preview stream, so get yourself along to that one starting at 3 o'clock. But this is how the team is currently lining up at the moment. Obviously, like I said, I've got no chips left, so we are going to have to play it a little bit more precautious. Otherwise, I probably would have been quite hard on teams like Spain. Probably even would have gone quad Portugal. I definitely think I probably would have done something like that as well. So, you know, we've got to kind of spread our assets out a little bit and kind of balance it out, to be honest. How many points are you on overall? Good question. I think it's around... Let me just load it up on this one so I don't, like, jolt the view. But let me take a look. 195 we're on. 195 points so far. So pretty decent stuff. Pretty decent stuff. Hey, Thomas. How's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. Triple up on England. Triple up of Spain, Germany, and England. I think Germany are probably the least... out of those. I think England, a triple up makes sense because we're on that right side of the draw. High chance of progression to the final as well, coming from Opta Analyst. So I definitely think if you've not got a wild card left, England are probably a team that are worth a triple up. And then Spain as well, they're up there as one of the predicted teams. Have a nice fixture this week as well, so a high chance of progression as we'll come on to see. So yeah, I definitely think there's some really, really good attacking assets and defensive assets from both Spain. England, probably more along the lines of the defensive kind of way. John Stones versus Walker. I've gone for Stones. I am a little bit sceptical about Walker's potential minutes. I think he is the first choice right back, but obviously with us having Konza, Trippier, Trent, all that can play in that position, it puts me off a little bit. Tom, who would you say is better, Stones or Walker? As you can see, I've gone for Stones over Walker, but I definitely think, you know, Walker is a decent option. I am just a little bit concerned about, you know, the other people. Thoughts on Mittelstadt? I think he's a decent shout. I do think he's a very good shout. 4 million, so again, if you're a little bit stretched for budget, but I can't really see why you would be. I think he's still a pretty decent shout, to be honest. Yeah, I think he's a pretty decent shout. I'm not sure between Kane, Ronaldo, because Kane usually turns up in the knockouts. I've currently got Mbappe, Morata, and Kane. Do you think I should change it? I've got a wild card left. Well, let's take a look. We'll come on to that because we've got lots of data. I've done kind of the tournament so far, if you like, for these strikers because I do feel it is going to be kind of the main theme throughout, to be honest. Do keep the questions coming in, guys. Like I said, keep the likes coming in as well. Let's push this stream out to as many people as possible. Let's try and get as many numbers in here as we can as we are approaching that 5k mark. But let's start off with tournament progressions and obviously the round of 16 odds of teams coming through. This is from Rob T FPL. If you want to go and check out any of his stuff, link to that in the description. As you can see, Spain have the highest probability of winning their round of 16 tie with a 93%. England in second with an 86, Netherlands in third with 84, then Portugal with 85, and as you can see, then it starts to slowly decrease. So for me, fixtures I would be looking to target this week, if I've got a wild card left, would be the likes of Spain, would be the likes of Portugal, probably England from a defensive standpoint, and realistically, I think the Dutch are going potentially under the radar as one of the teams to target, but again, I would be chucking them in there. Germany as well with quite a high chance of progression, so I definitely think they would be a team that I'm looking at. Obviously, on the flip side of that, if I haven't got a wild card left and I've got to be a little bit more precautious with my picks, I think realistically I'm looking at teams like England, Portugal, Spain, and the Netherlands. They're the top teams for me if I didn't have a wild card that I would be looking to focus on, to be honest. I know they're quite similar, but I feel like these all have a high chance of progression. Obviously, if England make it through to the next round, they're going to feature against Switzerland or Italy. Netherlands are probably going to play Austria realistically. Spain are probably going to play Germany, but I think Spain are the better team at the moment. So, again, there's a lot to kind of go through there, but I think this graphic is really useful for both sides of things, whether or not you're looking at the wild card or whether you're kind of just playing the rest of the game out with 0 chips. Like myself, I do feel this this potential data is a a little bit of a blessing, to be honest, a little bit of a blessing. Do keep the questions coming in, guys. Keep those likes coming in as well. Keep the subscriptions coming in, all that good stuff. And yeah, we're just going to rattle through some data, kind of talk through some key talking points, and then answer as many of your guys' questions. We'll do team ratings a little bit later in the deadline stream, so get yourself along to that one starting at 3 o'clock. But let's move on to the next data. It is going to be projected goals and clean sheet odds for match day 4, round of 16. Nearly confused myself. As you can see, Spain are the top team, so if you are on that wild card for next week, obviously you're going to be looking to target teams like Spain from an attacking and defensive standpoint as well. Portugal, very much in that same camp. England, I'd probably argue more from a defensive side. I know they've got good predicted goals in this model, but for me personally, they have been, not very good in front of goal. They've been pretty dismal, and I think we can all see that. But at the same time, they are playing a weakened side, but again, they're bottom of XG. They just are for the tournament. So defensive side, I definitely think I'm more bullish about for England rather than the attacking side. Holland, very much favourites going into that game against Romania. So maybe a team, a lot of people talking about Ake, Van Dijk, Depay, Gakpo, definitely some good players there. Germany as well, still pretty decent data, and with Rudiger still being available, I definitely think that makes Mittelstadt still a decent little pickup if you stretch for budget as well. So he's a decent one. Attacking wise as well, the likes of Ilkay Gundogan, Fulkirk, and Musiala, all still pretty decent pickups for this this match day, to be honest. Teams I probably would be looking to avoid: Switzerland, Italy. As you can see from the last section, it was slightly favouring Italy. The data as well is slightly favouring Italy, but it's too close to call for me. So personally, I'm not going to be too keen on it. Belgium, not really fancied to progress, or in terms of their attacking data or defensive data either. So again, probably a team I would be looking to avoid on that side. And Austria, they are slight favourites over Turkey, but I wouldn't go too overboard with my Austria picks, to be honest. I think maybe 1 or 2. Pence, the 4 million goalkeeper, is a very decent shout. They've got a decent 4.5 million defender. It's like Mue, something like that. And then probably one of Baumgartner or Sabitzer if you are going to pick up any of their assets, to be honest. Everyone outside of that, probably not worth any consideration, to be honest. So yeah. That's kind of that section. Again, if you want to take a screenshot or go and follow RobTFPL over on Twitter, that would be massively appreciated by me and, of course, by him as well. But let's answer some of your guys' questions before we move on to the next section. Let's have a look what we've got here. Worth going for Morata over Lukaku? Oh, 100%. Just look at that data. 100%. Carvajal or Cucurella, I think both are decent. Depends what budget you've got left over. I think Carvajal is 1 yellow card away from suspension for the next round, so just be wary of that one. Cucurella, though, does have some stiff competition in Grimaldo. So, I think if it's price dependent, Cucurella. If you've got the budget spare, I probably would just go for Carvajal. I'm chasing rank quite low at the minute. Played all chips. Which teams would you have a quad on, and who fave differentials? Yeah, so I think that's a difficult position. Obviously, if you played all the chips and you're still not doing great, I definitely think Holland are a team that are being overlooked by quite a few. Morata, a lot of people talking about him, but Yamal could be a decent option if you're maybe looking to go for that differentials. Bernardo Silva's a pretty decent pickup. Some of the Germany lads, Fulkirk, could be a great shout for you as well. You could also gamble on teams like Austria with Baumgartner and Sabitzer. They could be very decent shouts. And then a fixture that's probably being a little bit overlooked is that Switzerland-Italy one. So if you're at a low rank, maybe gamble on a few of their assets. Maybe if you've got a gut feeling about 1 or 2 players, that could be an area to potentially look at if you are so low ranked. Or maybe if you're looking for a quad, I'm going to put it out there. I would look at maybe like England triple up in defence and maybe get Kane as well. It could happen. It could happen. That could be like the way that you get yourself back into this game, to be honest. Fave differentials, though, I really like the Austria guys, to be honest. I think they've been one of the standouts of the tournament. Gakpo's another one as well. So, yeah, pretty decent ones. Nico Williams as well is a very, very decent shout as well. Thinking of Mainu, good differential and looked good last time out. Apparently, he's not going to play. That's what I read the other day on Twitter. So, yeah, I'd be wary of that one. What about Van Dijk? Yeah, I think Van Dijk's a very, very decent shout, to be honest. Thoughts on Bastoni, 13 ball recoveries last game. I interestingly had him in one of my teams at, one of my drafts, sorry, at one point. But I just looked at the clean sheet data and I just went for that England. Because, again, Italy, although Bastoni's been very good, I think if you're on a wild card next week, he's a better option. But for me, personally, it just didn't feel right. De Vrij or Dumfries? I think I'd go for De Vrij. Dumfries has obviously proved that he can be very much dropped, but has the higher probability of getting the attacking returns. I think if I had to split, though, I think I'd prefer going for Ake over both of those, to be honest. If you have a wild card, who would you transfer in and out? Well, I mean, you've got the wild card for next week, so realistically, you can basically free hit this week and target the weaker fixtures, like we spoke about. Obviously, looking at England from a defensive standpoint, Spain, both attack and defence, Portugal, you know, you could realistically kind of quad all these teams together and get yourself a pretty decent team, to be honest. Do you think France can beat Portugal if they play each other in the quarterfinals? I think that'll be a very just tasty game, and I don't really know how to call it, to be honest. Will Luke Shaw play? I don't think he will. He's only just coming back, so I don't think Luke Shaw is going to play, to be honest. Kane or Morata? I probably would edge more towards Morata, to be honest. I think he's just a little bit better from an attacking standpoint. Ake or Van Dijk? Again, I think both are decent options. Ake has had more chances created and better XGI, but you've always got that threat of set pieces with Van Dijk as well. Morata and Bellingham or Nico and Kane? Ooh, I think I'd prefer the Morata and Bellingham one. I'm on a budget. Should I do Carvajal and Dumfries or Van Dijk and Cucurella? I'd do Van Dijk and Cucurella. Mittelstadt is on 1 yellow card, and Germany, a clean sheet for this round is a bit low, whereas Netherlands' defence, Ake, is good. Play Mittelstadt will be good. I mean, your question was, you know, quite sporadically put in broken English, but I get what you mean. You know, he is on a yellow card. I think, you know, the odds are better for Holland and probably a defence that a lot of us are overlooking. So I'd probably go down that route, yeah. Or Bastoni? No, I probably would be more going for the Netherlands defence, to be honest. Are there only 2 free transfers in game week 4? No, you've got unlimited for game week 4. Unlimited transfers. Can you see Germany conceding tonight? I actually can. I don't think it's the same Denmark team, but if anyone's going to score, it's probably going to be Christian Eriksen. Ronaldo, Gakpo, Morata. Yeah, we're going to come on to talk about the strikers in a little while. Sorry. Will Cole Palmer play as the 10, then move Bellingham down to an 8? No, I don't. This is the thing, right? Gareth Southgate is not a pragmatic, changeable manager. It'll probably be realistically the same team for England. Apparently Trippier's like a doubt for the game. It would not surprise me if that's the only change and maybe Gallagher's dropped. But that's it. Gareth is just not a pragmatic attacking manager. He never has been, never will be. Gakpo, Depay or Morata? I think Morata's probably the top option, but I really like Gakpo. Who's your favourite 3 attackers? I think Ronaldo. I mean, it depends what strategy you run. I will obviously with my team, I've got Mbappe, Ronaldo, and Gakpo. But I really like Morata. I think he's a decent shout for this week. I'm quite bullish on Gakpo as well. I think Mbappe's going under the radar. Don't think Belgium have looked great defensively, and this is the first time they're going to play some proper opposition. And Mbappe, he has been one of the top players for kind of chances created, expected goal involvement as well. Same with Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, a lot of people are kind of writing him off, but the data has definitely been there. So something to consider. Out of Morata, Kane, Mbappe, Ronaldo, which 3 would you choose? Yeah, we'll come on to that. We'll move a little bit onto that in a little while. We've got a whole kind of slide dedicated just to all the striking options this week. Do you think Bellingham could be replaced by Gundo, Ruiz, KDB or Pedri since Bellingham is not that great? Yeah, I definitely think he could. think Gundo's a decent shout, Ruiz is a decent shout, Pedri's an okay shout, and KDB probably not, with quite low percentage chance of Belgium progressing and scoring goals and clean sheets and all that. Sabitzer or Baumgartner, I think both are really, really good, to be honest. I think both are very decent options, and you know, whichever way you go is completely fine. Sabitzer is slightly edging it more for ball recoveries and for attacking data, so that's why I've gone with him. But like I said, both are really good. Midfield punts other than Sabitzer. That's a good question, That's a good question. Let me just log in. I mean, realistically, going for like... Let me just log in. It's just having a moment to think about it, but I'm just going to log in, and then we'll take a look. We will take a look. Keep the questions coming in though, guys. Keep the likes, subscriptions, all that good stuff. Like I said, we are trying to reach 5,000 subscribers across today's 2 streams. Obviously, there will be a deadline stream starting at 3 o'clock. If you are enjoying the content that you see on the channel as well, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Right, let's load up. Let's take a look at some potential midfield options that are going under the radar. Nico Williams is a very good one. I think it gets you a nice way into that Spanish front three against the weakened opposition. Let's have a look if there's any other ones that we're potentially missing out on here. Bernardo Silva's an okay shout. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Kind of pick. Pedri's a decent one. Xavi Simons, if we know he's going to play, but we don't. Rodri's not a bad shout, but probably not a player I would go for. Çalhanoğlu's an interesting one. Played a lot deeper, but still a pretty decent pickup. Shaqiri, if we know he's going to play. Obviously, we're going to get to see that lineup. He could be a decent little pickup if you've got the wild card next week. Kante as well should do all right for ball recovery. Xhaka could do okay as well. Yeah, so that's probably the kind of the players you're looking at, to be honest. Boom. Is it necessary to have an English attacker? No, probably not. I'd definitely say not. Best Spanish mid in your opinion? Yeah, it probably is Nico Williams in terms of the mids. Forwards, I'd probably say I'm slightly edging more towards Morata over Yamal. Will you bank on Spanish forward Morata or Spanish mid Nico Ruiz Pedri? If only one, then which one should you do? I think I'd bank more on the mids. I think there's better forward options, personally. Shaqiri, yeah, for Switzerland. If we're gonna see the lineup, so why not? If he's playing, Virgil for Ake, João for Noon, Carvalho for Cucurella. Yep, all those seem pretty okay shots. Right, let's move on to the next section. We'll come back to answering your guys' questions, so do keep them in. This is obviously the big talking point for a lot of people. It is going to be the forwards and which 3 do you go for. I've outlined my favourite forwards for this week. We've got Kane, we've got Mbappe, we've got Morata, we've got Gakpo, we've got Füllkrug, who is reported in German media to be starting this game, so that's why he's obviously in here. Then we've got Cristiano Ronaldo as well. So yeah, let's talk through each of these picks. And I'll give you my top 3. So Kane for England, as you can see, has arguably one of the lowest expected goal involvements on this list. It's actually the second lowest, and he's played arguably, a large proportion of minutes over some of these other players as well. Mbappe's missed a game. Morata didn't feature him. Well, he came off the bench and went off early in the first game. Füllkrug's come off the bench in both games as well. So for me, Harry Kane in England is a problem. But England are on that right side of the draw. So if you are looking for a player realistically that has a high chance of being there right at the end, or at least to the semi-finals, and you don't have to worry about for transfers or for potential minutes, it is Harry Kane. But he's stinking it up. He is stinking it up. England, attacking-wise as well, have the lowest XG created at the tournament so far. Slovakia as well, they're not the best defence, but at the same time, England, attacking-wise, have not lit the world alight for me, and probably why I'm not going to be looking at Harry Kane, and probably why I think you also shouldn't look at Harry Kane. It's a gamble, but from the data-wise and watching England performances, England just don't create. They just don't. Simple as that. Moving on to Mbappe, and a pick that I think a lot of people might be over kind of looking, to be honest, because for me personally, I think Mbappe should be in everyone's team. Now, I know they've got a difficult fixture on paper against Belgium, but Belgium, it's not the same Belgium we've seen. Their golden generation has gone. Defensively, there are a lot of questions, and we've seen it in quite a few games where they've probably got a little bit fortunate. And Mbappe didn't even, feature in one of the games and has the highest expected goal involvement on this list. He could very easily had a hat-trick against Poland if he wanted. I think France, again, they're probably going to make the semi-finals at the minimum. They're going to have to play a difficult fixture in the quarterfinal, yes, but I still think Mbappe is a great shout. As you can see from the data, he is killing it. You take away that 0.75 from a penalty, he's still top of this. Well, bar Ronaldo, he's going to be second on this list, realistically. So it's still showing how good a tournament Mbappe has had. Probably him and France have just been a little bit unfortunate in front of goal. I think France as well have created the highest XG. They're just yet to score a goal in open play. So I think France, realistically, are very, very unlucky at the moment. Very, very unlucky. But I think Mbappe is definitely still a player I would be considering, to be honest. Moving on to Morata, obviously the hot pick for this week. That's what a lot of people are going for. 8.5 million, okay, fair enough. They're playing Georgia, a team that have conceded in every single game so far at this tournament. Good, okay-ish data as well to go with his performances across the group stage. My only concern is, will he play a full 90? And my answer is no, I don't think he will play a full 90. And that is why I've not included him in my team, because I just personally don't think Morata is going to see a full 90 minutes. They've obviously got Joselu. They've obviously got Ferran Torres, who did quite well in Matchday 3 as well. They've got Oyarzabal. They've got Yamal. There are plenty of quality forward options for this Spanish side, and I just don't think Morata is going to see out a full 90. That doesn't mean that he's not going to score. It just means that I think he's probably going to play 60 to 70 minutes. Especially if Spain score a couple in the first half, they think they're through, they think it's done and dusted, he'll be off. That's just my opinion. And I still think even with the limited minutes, he's still worth a little bit of a gamble. But for me personally, I'm just a little bit cautious on him. That is all I'm saying. But I still think he's a decent shout. Gakpo, on the other hand, is a player I'm liking a lot. Obviously, he's created more in terms of the expected assists rather than the goals. He's got 2 goals so far in this tournament, both from outside the box. Both have been from pretty low XG as well. So, not the best opportunities in the world and probably something to consider. But for me personally, I'm not on a wild card. So I have to kind of play this a little bit more strategically and think about picks that are going to be there towards the end of this game. And I think Gakpo could be one of those players, or at least Holland could be one of those kind of teams that, reaches the semi-finals at a minimum. That should be their expectations now with the side of their draw they're on. They should be looking semi-finals minimum. Now, they've not been great. Depay hasn't been great either. I'm a little bit for me, I prefer Gakpo over Depay, but I get why, you'd have that appeal of Depay. But Gakpo for me, very, very decent shout. Now, Fulkrug is being reported in a lot of the German media that he is going to play. That's it. Simple as that. Denmark, they've been okay, but defensively they've been actually quite good at this tournament so far. Their XG conceded is pretty decent. Obviously, that whole group that England, Denmark were in was a pretty miserable group. Let's not beat around the bush. I think they'll make it quite hard for Germany. I do think Germany will win 2-0, but I don't think they'll absolutely batter it. And Fulkrug, isn't performing. They've got Kai Havertz. So, again, they've got this good option on the bench that they could very easily just switch Fulkrug out from, realistically. So, again, he could see around 60 to 70 minutes. But so far at this tournament, he's managed to score 2 goals. Pretty good data as well to go with the limited minutes he's seen so far. He is a gamble, but if you've got that wild card next week, I think he could be a very, very sensible punt. And moving on to the final man, again, another man I've not really seen in a lot of people's teams. It is Cristiano Ronaldo, the second highest expected goal involvement on this list. Probably a little bit unfortunate only to have come away with 1 attacking return so far in this tournament. They've got a nice fixture. They've got very high probability of scoring goals in Matchday 4 as well. Portugal, realistically, with the side that they have, again, probably should be looking to at least the next round. Hopefully the semi-finals final with the squad that they've got as well. They do play an attacking brand of football. That can be seen from the data as well. So if I had to pick, right, we're going to do it from if you've not got a wild card and if you've got a wild card left. If you've got a wild card left, I would go Morata, Mbappe, Ronaldo, if I had a wild card left, right? if I didn't have a wild card left, I think my picks would be Mbappe, Ronaldo, and I think I'd take a punt on Gakpo. Now, you could very easily go for Morata if you've not got that wild card left. But I think I'd take it on that Gakpo one. Realistically, they're probably going to be in the next round as well. You can look to other players. And I think you then obviously would focus on the Spanish midfield rather than that. So that's the way I'm thinking with that one. That's it. Let me know your thoughts on that. Obviously, I went on for about 5 minutes there talking through each forward. Let me know if you agree, disagree, whatever. But let's answer some more of your guys' questions in the chat. If you are enjoying the stream, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, we are trying to hit 5,000 subscribers today. We are ridiculously close to doing that. So anything you can do to help this stream, if you're already a subscriber, hit that like button, push it out to more people. Let's see how many people we can get in this chat. It would be immense if we could get, 250, something like that. It'd be pretty decent. Right, let's start working through some of your guys' questions. John Stones or Upamecano? I probably would go for John Stones, sorry. Obviously, England, they have the better clean sheet data, better expected data, all that good stuff on the right side of the draw, so probably John Stones for me. Pepe should be your option for ball recoveries. Yeah, Pepe's a very decent shout. Ronaldo or Gakpo? Probably would go Ronaldo on that one. Going Gakpo, Mbolo, Mbappe. Yeah, I'm not too keen on Mbolo. I think there's definitely better picks this week. Pedri or Gundo? I would prefer Gundo on that one. If Simmons plays, is he a good shout to have him and Gakpo together? I probably would only go for one Dutch attacker rather than two. Bruno Fernandes or Bellingham? Probably Bruno. Should I use Mbappe or Kane? I still have my wild card. I probably would go Mbappe then, to be honest, mate. England have been terrible. Obviously, that doesn't mean that trend's going to continue, but that's the way it is. Pedri or Ruiz? Already have Nico in. I'd be tempted with Ruiz, but Pedri's still a pretty decent shout as well. Why Stones over Cancelo? I think for me personally, me and my team is the fact that I've got to play a little bit further down the line. Realistically, I'm going to probably have to take one of Cancelo out. Stones I can leave in for next week. Chanloglu is suspended. Didn't realise that. Sorry, guys. Whoops. Do you consider Arnautovic on a free hit? Nah, I don't think I would consider that one. If you're going to go for an Austria attacker, it's going to be Sabitzer or Baumgartner. Do you take Morata and Simmons or Depay and Nico Williams? I would... that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I mean, if you change that to Gakpo and Nico Williams, I'd be more tempted with that one. Thoughts on Nuno Mendes, Carvajal, Cucurella, Walker, Gahey? Any changes you would make? Still got the wild card? No, that's a very, very solid defence. I'm very happy with that. Sabitzer or Nico? Probably Nico. I think Spain are more likely to score this week than Austria. If you need to pick one English mid, Bellingham, Saka, Foden, keep in mind there's a doubt that Gordon or Palmer could start and Bellingham be on the bench. I mean, I don't think he's going to bench Bellingham. And he loves Foden for some reason, so I'd probably gamble between Bellingham and Foden. Pedri plays higher up than Ruiz. Yeah, I need to go and look at their data, to be honest. Let's get FB ref up. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Let's have a look. Just having a look at this question that's come in. Like I said, though, do keep those questions flying in. We will try to answer as many as we possibly can. Stats. Let's have a look. Pedri's got better expected goals. Ruiz has got more big chances created. But at the same time, Pedri's got more chances created. Ferran Torres has the best expected assists and Nico Williams out. So yeah, it's a real tough one, isn't it? Yeah, I get your point about them. I think both are really, really good picks. Who's played more? Who's played more minutes across this tournament so far? 179 for Ruiz. What about Pedri? 130. I think Ruiz has better minutes then, looking at that. looking at that. Should I use Bellingham or Saka or Bruno Fernandes? I have no chips left. I'd gamble on Bruno. Like, England just are not a team to consider. Walker or Stones? I think both are great picks. I've gone with Stones just down to the sheer number of right-backs England have. Cancelo or Nuno Mendes? I think I'd probably go Nuno Mendes. What is my rank? I'm currently 35k in the world. That is my rank. Yamal, Gakpo, Ronaldo, what do you think? Yep, very decent. Happy with that. Is it worth having both Musiala and Gundo? If not, who do you prefer? I prefer Gundo, but I've currently got both. As a Turk, I will say don't underestimate us. We feel the spirit of Euro 2008. Well, hopefully, man. Hopefully. I do feel you are one of the teams that is being kind of ruled out already before you've even played a game. So very, very valid. Trippier or Stones? I mean, with Trippier being a little bit of a doubt, that's being reported in the English media, I'd go with Stones. Kieran Trippier playing or doubtful? He is doubtful. What do you think about Akanji? He's a decent pickup. I think there are better defenders, but if you're looking for someone in that game, he's a decent shout. If you see Gakpo's stats, he got like one shot every game and he scores. But Depay got many chances. He is on pens and set pieces. I prefer Depay. Well, fair enough. I just think Depay, from an eye test perspective, has been very disappointing. Why is everyone sleeping on Mbappe? Even though, yeah, I agree. I think someone who will play France and get a little bit of a battering. Should I use Saliba or Theo Hernandez? Theo Hernandez has some of the best expected attacking data from any defender, but Saliba's been pretty decent for the ball recoveries. So again, it's the argument of attacking data or ball recoveries. Which one do you go down? Kane or Gallon? Who the hell is Gallon? Who the hell is Gallon? What defender would you gamble on if you had a wild card left? I probably would be more bullish on the double Spanish defence if I had it left, to be honest. Ronaldo or Bruno? I probably would go Ronaldo. Why Nuno over Cancelo? I think both of the datas is pretty much identical, and Nuno's a little bit cheaper. Walker or Carvajal? Depends what other defenders you've got in there. I think England as a double defence or triple defence longer in the tournament is better than a Spanish one. But for this week, Spain are better clean sheet odd-wise. Kane or Gakpo? I probably would say it's a tough. It is really, really tough. But I'd go Kane. Would I go Kane? Nah, I think I've got to go Gakpo. England have just been really bad going forward. Thoughts on Cancelo, Guehi, Carvajal, Cucurella and Ake? Any changes? I've used all my chips. No, that's a fine defence. Diego Costa or Pence? It depends what other goalkeeper you've got. I've got Pickford and he plays on the same day as Pence if they progress to the next round, whereas Portugal don't. So maybe look at the next round and see, like, if you've not got a wild card left, see where your goalkeepers have to play, like what day they'll be playing on. Thank you for your answer. Take care of yourself. No worries, man. No worries. Thank you for coming along to the stream. If you do have any questions, guys, get it into the stream. We'll try and answer as many questions as we can. If you are enjoying it as well, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's see if we can try and get 250 people in today's stream. We're going to need everyone to like it, push it out to more people. You know the drill by now. Ericsson or Simmons? Probably would go Simmons on that one. How is every FPL YouTuber like 30k with over 3 million teams? It seems very easy to get a good rank. It's not like so easy to get a good rank. Like, I know some YouTubers that are doing not that great. Like, I think FPL Andy, like the biggest one, is around 100k. I think it's just because we kind of have the data and we obviously do a lot of research into players, and you know, a lot of us have been quite aggressive with our chip strategies as well and stuff like that. Like, that's how. That is realistically how, because we're just clued in. You know what I mean? If you're looking at the data all the time for videos and stuff, you will get a feeling of which players and which teams are going to do well, rather than just kind of going in blindly, which is what a lot of people are doing. And as well, like, my mates are pretty big football fans, but a lot of them are just casuals. Like, they don't take the game seriously. They'll have fun with it, and that's completely fine. Whereas a lot of us are kind of focused on the stats and the data and kind of being a little bit like that. If you don't have any chips left, how spread out should you be between the two brackets and all the teams likely to move on? Let me get my team up. So as you can see, I've gone quite spreadish. I've gone a little bit more bullish on the right-hand side than the left-hand side, just because I feel there's potentially a little bit more upside with goals and stuff like that. But I have kind of spread my assets out a little bit. I've not gone too heavy on certain teams. Obviously, we've got triple Portugal, triple England. But the rest of the teams, it's more doubles and singles rather than, you know, all-out quad in it. When is your team showing? Yeah, there it is. There's my team right now. Obviously, we'll do more of kind of in-depth stuff, taking a look at it throughout the deadline stream. That will be at 3 o'clock, so if you want to come along to that one, there will be a deadline stream at 3 o'clock. But yeah, we'll just see how this one goes. If we get pretty decent numbers in this one, maybe we'll just continue it. We'll just keep going. Who knows? Who knows, guys? Kane, Mbappe, and Gakpo, who would you swap? I mean, probably Kane out of all of those, but he is still a decent pick. Bellingham or Gundo? Gundo. Bastoni captain? I would prefer a German player for tonight. Is it worth to go with Fulkrich? I've used all my chips. I get it. I think he's a decent shout, but I think there are also better forward picks to go for this week. What is the ideal midfield to have? Probably have a Spanish player in there, a German, a Portuguese, and then who else have you got? Who have I missed? Maybe gamble on a Dutch. It's probably going to be gamble on a Dutch or an English. There's no real good French ones unless you go for Kante. So yeah, that'd probably be about it. Maybe like double Spanish or double German. Morata will destroy Georgia. They are too tired while Spain had a week off. True, that is true. But is it at the same time you could use that argument against yourself and say because Spain rotated quite heavily, is that team going to be a little bit, you know, lethargic? Are they not going to be potentially quite at the races? It works both ways when you use that argument. You see it so many times where teams rest and then they have to, like a lot towards the back end of that season, City looked a little bit uncoordinated at times because there was so much rest and rotation. Maybe like the 2 seasons ago rather than this season. It was when they had the Champions League and they were kind of just, you know, rotating each week. When that team had to come together again, there was that little bit of a split. Is an English midfielder a good route? And if I did go, why would you be the best option? I mean, not the best English, but I think it's an okay route if you've not got a wild card left. But at the same time, we're just not very good. I think realistically, you could get an England midfielder in for next week rather than this week. That would be my advice on that one. Akanji or Bastoni as a punt? I think Bastoni, purely down to the fact that Italy have better chance of progression and better clean sheet odds. That is all I'm using for that one. Best attack without any chips? Probably going to have the likes of Ronaldo, Mbappe, maybe a gamble on Gakpo, Kane, someone on the other side of the draw. What's the reason for Sabitzer over Baumgartner? More minutes played, better expected data, and better for ball recoveries. But I think both are still very good picks. Do you think a quadruple English defence is too risky? Yeah. I think 3's the max. Because realistically, if England pop in this game and people kind of want to jump on Kane or Bellingham, you're a little bit stuck with that quad defence. So I would just keep that one England spot open. France defender, you must be mad. I mean, I'm just trying to kind of edge things out. We might change this come the deadline stream. This is what we've got for now. We've got Ake, but at the same time, we might change it out. We might go for the double Spanish defence. Why captain Gundo over Musiala? I captained Gundo a few weeks ago and he was my boy. That's it. I'm just sticking with that one. Ricardo Rodriguez, viable option over Akanji. I think he's 1 yellow away from suspension, so I think I'd just spend that extra 0.5 on Akanji. Morata instead of Ronaldo because he's a higher chance of scoring. Yeah, interestingly, I forgot about that. I've actually got that up somewhere. Let me go and take a look. Which one is it? Not that one. This one. Here we go. This is from Oddschecker and FPL Salah. This is the anytime scoring percent odds. As you can see, Ronaldo's above Morata. Kane's interestingly very high on this list as well. Third. Joselu is interestingly fourth, and Oyarzabal and Torres. Above the likes of, obviously, Nico Williams and stuff like that. Nico Williams is going to play. I think this is probably the bookmakers just being a little bit kind of behind the times. Sometimes they do this as well. But I think that Joselu one does show that Morata potentially could see an early substitution. But these are the anytime scoring percentage chance done by Oddschecker, posted by FPL Salah as well. So go and give him a shout out on Twitter and all that good stuff. Yamal is interestingly on there. Havertz and Fulkrug as well. Mbappe on that list. But I can't remember what the question was. What was the question we got? I can't remember where the question was. It was a little bit further up, I think. Morata instead of Ronaldo because he has a higher chance of scoring. Well, interestingly, Ronaldo has the higher percentage chance of scoring any time rather than him. Do you think France will keep a clean sheet? I'm not 100% convinced they will, but they've still got pretty decent odds of keeping one. Still got 2 chips. When is the best time to use? Right, I would recommend next week play your wild card. Yeah, next week play your wild card. So basically this week, free hit that team. Target the Spanish, target the Portuguese, target the English defence. Probably pick up one of the France, Dutch players, German players. Then next week, wild card. Again, build your team specific for that week, but focus a little bit more on teams that you think could make the final. Then limitless in the semi-final. Then you'll have 5 transfers. Realistically, if you built an okayish team, you'll be able to put an 11 out for the final. But you don't need a bench at that point, so you just need 11 players. There you go. That'd be my advice on that one. Ideal attack, we've done that one. How many points did you get last week? I got 53. You rate Gundo and Nico Williams higher than Jude this round? I do indeed. Costa or Verbergen? I think Verbergen if you're looking more longer term, but Costa's a decent shout. I wanted just to root into that Portugal defence. That's why I went for him. I have 2.5 million in the bank, so do I. Sabitzer is on penalties too. Wonderful. What do you think about Stefan Posch? Yep, again, if you're looking for a nice cheap defender, he could be one. Arnautovic takes penalties. Does he? Apparently, I've seen from other people Sabitzer. I've seen from other people Arnautovic. It's kind of split, isn't it, really, to be honest, between the two. Let's get my team back up. Is Gakpo worth it? I've currently got him. Double Portuguese defence or 1 Portuguese and 1 Spanish. I prefer the 1 Portuguese, 1 Spanish. What's your thoughts on Cucurella? Yep, if anyone's going to come out for Theo Hernandez, it would be Cucurella that would come in. Any things that you are considering changing your team? Like I've said, Theo Hernandez and Musiala and probably Gakpo are the 3 players that could change come the deadline. Everything else I'm pretty happy with. Cancelo and Nunez or Cancelo and Carvajal? Cancelo and Carvajal. Why didn't you take Bellingham? England have been very, very poor. Very disappointing. Yeah, he could get subbed early, but as long as he gets that clean sheet in lock, I'll be happy with that. Do you think Schlotterbeck is a good choice? I mean, he's going to play for Jonathan Tah, but after the suspension, I'd imagine Jonathan Tah comes back into the side, to be honest. Donnarumma worth a punt with possibility for many penalty saves and good at saving pens when I've Pickford. I mean, don't look at penalty saves because remember, after extra time, points don't count. Like, you don't get the points for penalty saves in the penalty shootout. That doesn't happen. You don't get any points for that. So don't be focusing on goalkeepers because they're good at penalty saves. Getting a penalty in the game is sporadic. It could happen at any point. There's no team, no goalkeeper that's kind of immune from it or more likely to get one. It's just not the way it's going to happen. Simple as that. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Like I said, today could be the day that we hit that 5,000 subscriber mark, and if you want to see me do something pretty cool or I don't know, dance or anything like that, get your suggestions in for that one. How should we celebrate hitting that 5k subscriber mark? Do keep the likes coming in as well. Let's push it out to more people. Let's see if we could try and get 300 people in here. We got the 250. Let's see if we can try and get that 300. But yeah, keep liking the stream, guys. Push it out to more people. Drop me a follow on Twitter as well if you want your team reviewing later. That's what we'll be doing there. Plenty of team reviews along the way. Interestingly, looking at the poll, 69% of you still have chips left. I didn't think it was going to be that high. I can't lie. I did not think it was going to be that high, to be honest. But it is. 69%. So massive. That is pretty big. That is pretty big. I cannot lie about that. That's quite big. Very big. What other questions have we got kicking about? In my opinion, Bellingham will happen soon. I hope so, man. I hope so. Baumgartner, Sabitzer, KDB, Musiala and Bruno midfield. I think I would have one of Baumgartner or Sabitzer, not both. One or the other. Is Morata starting? Yeah, he should be starting. Who do you think would win between France and Portugal if they both reach the quarterfinals? It's an interesting one because I do have to think about that. And I think it would probably be Portugal. I think they've got the better team. I do think they've got the better team. How many points did you get on your limit list? Yeah, I answered that one. I got 53. Morata or Gakpo, if I don't have any chips, Morata has a higher chance of scoring. He does, but I would argue that Holland have a higher chance of progressing to the next round of the tournament. What do you think of Bernardo Silva or Saka in the middle? No, not really. If you could change the way to gain points, what would you do? In this game or in FPL? In this game, I think it's quite a good system. Ronaldo, the only thing, me and Jake spoke about this in our team selection stream. The only thing I would change would be getting actual points for penalties and stuff like that. So if a game goes to penalties, the goalkeeper gets 1 point for, saving the penalty. The outfield players get 1 point for scoring the penalty, because how many times do we see a goalkeeper save like multiple penalties? It's not often. So realistically, if it does go to a penalty shootout, they're probably going to come away with 1 to 2 extra points. But at the same time, a forward, they're only going to get 1 to 1 extra point. That just seems like a nice little bonus, like for the game going to penalties. Just something like that. I think that's probably the only thing I would say. The rest of the game, I think it's pretty good. I think FPL could definitely take some notes from how this game works, especially with, I like the man of the match. The bonus system in FPL is flawed. It's just off like gobbledygook Opta stats rather than like a man of the match award. I think that makes players like midfielders and these players that we don't usually pick up in FPL much more appealing. The centre backs as well, ball recoveries, big fan. FPL, if you're watching, take note. Why don't you have more Spanish in your team? Probably a good shout. I think on reflection, Theo Hernandez might be coming out and we might be going for Cucurella. That might be happening. Musiala, if I'm going to change him, maybe Ruiz. But at the same time, then would I take one of the other defenders out? Yeah. Cucurella or Mittelstadt? Probably Cucurella. This is my team. Yeah, this is my team. I would probably go for Unai Simon. Kane or Morata with the wild card left. Morata then, if you've got the wild card left. Would you take a punt on Trippier? He's back in training. Where have you seen that? Because I've read on Twitter other things. Saka, Williams, Bellingham still have a wild card. Yeah, if you've got a wild card, don't be gambling on Saka and Bellingham. Get some Spanish in your team. Get some Portugal. Get some German players. Kante or Nico Williams? Nico Williams for me. Stones over Walker? Yeah, Stones over Walker. Take out Theo Hernandez? Yeah, I think we probably will before the deadline happens. We probably will end up taking out Theo Hernandez. Just because if Portugal go through and France go through, it means that then I'm booking in a transfer realistically for Theo, aren't I? I'm booking in that transfer. So yeah, I think Theo Hernandez might make way out of this team. Maybe, like this is the thing, we might drop Musiala or we might keep Musiala. So it would be a question of if we go for Musiala for Ruiz, then it would mean Theo would be a German defender, realistically, or double Spanish. But I don't want to be quad Spanish. I think that's probably a little bit overkill for me in my position. Or we go for Cucurella and then Musiala for maybe a Swiss or Italian midfielder or something like that. I don't know. What is your plan if every team you have goes through? Well, I mean, England and Holland, they don't play each other till the semis, so that's fine. Portugal and France, like I said, if one of the transfers would be booked in would probably be for Theo Hernandez. And then, yeah, I think if everyone else went through, like, it'd be a hard one, really. It would be a hard one. Maybe we'd see how England get on and maybe get another England midfielder in. I don't know. Morata or Gakpo, I have a wild card, then I go for Morata. Rumours that Mittelstadt isn't even going to start. Interesting. Where have you heard that? Theo Hernandez or Koundé? I think Theo Hernandez has been super unfortunate not to get an attacking return so far. So I'll probably go for him. I have Bruno also, but Xavi Simons will have less opposition in the tournament. What do you think? It depends, like, why was Xavi Simons dropped in the last game? Like, I don't think he'll be dropped again, but at the same time, it's happened now, so it's in the back of our minds. Just following up from the Trippier was seen back in training today on Sky. Nice, thank you. Will Walker start or is his place not guaranteed? I think he will, but at the same time, you have so many right-back options. Is he going to start every game? I think he will, but at the same time, I just think it's not worth the risk. Just get John Stones in. Just do that. John Stones in. Done. Bosh. Hate the left side of the knockout. Yeah, it does make it a little bit harder. I have Pickford, Gahey and Walker, and I don't have any Dutch players. Should I consider changing Walker with Ake? Yeah, probably. Probably. Especially if you've not got that wild card left. Why might you get rid of Musiala? I think he's prone to an early substitution. But he has been very, very decent at this tournament. Kane or Gakpo with a wild card? Probably. I think there's more exciting picks on a wild card if you've got them. I think you could go for a France player, a Portugal player. Yeah, I think there's better striking options. The rumours are that Raum could be starting over Mittelstadt. Interesting. Interesting. That is very interesting. Kane, Cancelo, or Ronaldo and Stones? Ronaldo and Stones for me. Why have you gone Ronaldo over Kane? Better data over the tournament. Portugal are more likely to score this match day. And if obviously, you know, Portugal do get through and Ronaldo disappoints again and maybe Kane gets himself on the score sheet, we could switch to Kane. What do you think about Schlotterbeck? Yeah, I think he's an okay pickup, but obviously, like I said, Jonathan Tah will be back from suspension next game. So I think Tah will go straight back in. Stones has only got 10 ball recoveries and will likely get no attacking returns. True. True. Maybe we do go for Walker then. Maybe we do switch it up. Maybe we do switch it up. Let's have a look. Let's have a play around. Let's have a play around. So if we went for an England... Can you guys see this? Or is it all too... Yeah, it's all too tight. Where's the other one? Let me have a look. That one? Oh, that's good. Yeah, there we go. Bosh. There we go. Now you guys can see the screen. So if we went for England and we went for Walker... I mean, he's 0.5 more, but yeah, fuck it. We've got the money. And then we got rid of Theo Hernandez. And we went for Cucurella. Where is he? Cucurella. Bosh. Done. There we go. So that's what we're looking like now. Oh. Get that right. There we go. Ooh, nearly opened the wrong thing up. Where is it? There it is. So yeah, we've had a little bit of a play around. We've gone for Walker. We've got Cucurella in. Fine, innit? I think this looks a little bit better. No Cancelo. No, we've got Costa. We've got Costa to cover that Portugal defence if it needs. If it needs. Thoughts on Palmer and Southgate playing him? I mean, it's Gareth Southgate, so probably he won't play him. Let's be real. Let's be real on that one. Both KDB and Jude celebrating birthdays this weekend. Kramrich scored on his birthday. Oh, the old XG birthday. You love to see it. Fotmob has Wirtz and Mittelstadt bench. Yeah, I've heard either Wirtz or Havertz will be making way for Fulkrick. You heard it here first. Ronaldo will score nothing bar a pen shootout. I mean, his data suggests otherwise. Barella or Musiala? I think I'd go Musiala. Do you think Shaw will start over Trippier so quickly after he recovers? No. I think he'll come off the bench maybe in this game, but I don't think he's going to start. You could go Nuno Mendes. He's been good instead of one of the Spaniards. I could. But, yeah, I don't want to. I think Spain have obviously got that really good defensive data. So have Portugal, realistically. Where is it? Is it that one? What's the clean sheet odds saying? 55% is not the worst, is it? 61% for Spain, though, is a bit saucy. Is a bit saucy. Should I consider Depay over Gakpo? I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? We have the same team, except I have Morata over Ronaldo and Baumgartner over Sabitzer. Nice. Rudiger or Mittelstadt got enough money. I mean, with reports coming around the chat that Mittelstadt could be benched, I'd probably go Rudiger then. What is your ideal attack if you had a wild card left? It'd be a lot of Spanish in there. Probably throw Morata in there. Probably would be Fernandes, Ronaldo. Probably still avoid England, but defensively be quite stacked on them. Probably would take a gamble maybe on somebody like Fulkrug this week as well. Still would have Mbappe and Ronaldo though. Yeah, still probably would. You're not considering a German defender? I've gone for teams that have just better odds. But I could. But I'm gonna once this stream finishes and we go like I'll take a little bit of a break in a bit because we're gonna go and do a deadline stream at 3. But I'm gonna take a look at some data and find out how attacking wise Denmark have been. And how good their XG's been and how good they are at defending. I need to take a proper look at it. But yeah, that could be something to consider. Like Cucurella is the question mark within this team, if you like. Pretty template, so who are your punts? You say right, this is the thing, right? People say it's pretty template, okay? Gakpo's 21% owned. I thought he'd be a lot lower than that. But double England defence, triple actually England defence, not that common. Ake's at 13. I don't think too many people will have him. Sabitzer's at 11. There are punts. Williams at 15. But the thing is, right, at the same time, you're saying my team's pretty template. I'm doing okay at the moment. I'm 35k. I don't have any chips left. I've got to play it a little bit more sensible. So going with the template and just kind of slowly keeping up with everyone, or trying to get that advantage over people that have got the wild card left, I'd be pretty happy if I got a top 25k finish. I think that'd be pretty decent. So it is pretty template, but the template usually is for a very good reason. A lot of people within the community, they'll look at the data like me, they'll see teams that they want to target, and that is why it is so template. Would Pepe be a good option in terms of ball recovery? Yeah, I think he'd be a decent shout. Why no English attacker? I mean, have you watched England at this tournament? We're just dismal. We are really dismal, and that's coming from an English fan. It is a bore to watch England. Why is the hype around Baumgartner? Because he's decent. Both him and Sabitzer are very good options. Oh, who do I think would be any good punts? I think it probably would be focusing, if you're looking for punts, it would be on the teams that people aren't too keen on. That for me is probably where the lower ownership players are going to come in. I think Ruiz is pretty low owned down. He could be a very, very decent shout. But that for me is probably where we're going to find these players that are more in the punt bracket, is these players that just are lower owned. Very, very easily just lower owned. Keep the likes, keep the subscriptions coming in, guys. We are closing in on that 5,000 subscriber mark, so massively appreciated by you. If we do hit that goal today, what would you like me to see me do? What would you like? Do you think you have too many players from one side? I mean, maybe, but I can't really see, there is going to be an upset. There is going to be an upset on this side of the on one of the games. There will be an upset. And if it's going to be anyone, I think it could be England. I only have 3 transfers to deal with any mess that happens. But realistically, maybe I am. That's kind of why I went for Hernandez over Cucurella. Spread myself out a little bit more. But yeah, maybe. Ideal defence without any chips. Probably looking at some England players. Probably some Spanish boys. Portugal boys. If you want to gamble on one of the Italy or Swiss defenders, that could be a shout. I have Williams. Please don't spam. Please do not spam or I'm going to mute you. Don't spam. I have Williams and 2 Spanish defenders. Should I take Gundo or Musiala out for Pedri or Ruiz? No, I wouldn't do that. I have basically the same defensive line. Is Bastoni over Walker a good shout or no? Yeah, I am considering Bastoni, to be honest. I'm considering Bastoni, but at the same time, then I'm still going to have to take him out next week, aren't I? Bastoni or another England defender. I already have 2 no chips. I mean, England have a high probability of reaching the final, so I'll probably go with the England one. Ops on the team, Pickford, Verbergen. We'll do team reviews a little bit later. That will be in the deadline stream. We'll start doing team reviews, Luke. So if you want to come back for that one, that will start probably around 3 o'clock-ish. We'll do the deadline stream. Maybe. I don't know. I feel okay. I do feel okay. So maybe what might just happen is we'll give this one another 10 to 15 or 20 minutes. We'll see how I'm feeling. I might take a quick break and then we'll come back for the deadline. I think that's what we're going to do. But if I feel okay after 20 to 25 minutes, I do need a wee at some point. But if we're feeling good, we're feeling fine, the views are continuing to go up. Maybe if we hit around 300, I'll probably just stay and just continue to 5 o'clock. Just long ball it. But yeah, let's see if we can get to 300 first. Will Akanji be a good punt? Yeah, he could be a decent one. Do you think Carvajal will be subbed early due to the yellow? I mean, I still expect him to play at least 60 minutes. Havertz or Gakpo? I mean, with rumours that Havertz could be benched, I probably would go Gakpo. Kane and Simmons or Gakpo and Bellingham? Probably Kane and Simmons on that one. Kane and Simmons. Keep the likes coming in, guys. Keep the subscriptions coming in. Don't worry, I'm not being rude. I'm just checking Twitter to see if there's any kind of news kicking about. Yeah, I'm just checking to see what news is kicking about, if anyone knows anything. In addition to Nicholas Fulkirk, there could be another surprise in the change of the German lineup against Denmark tonight. Röhm is currently said to be ahead of Maximilian Mattelstadt at left back. There we go, Röhm, apparently. That is from, there we go. So maybe Mittelstadt's not the one. Don't go for Mittelstadt. There we go. Rob T FPL. I'll probably get this graphic made up in between the breaks between this stream and the deadline one. Player projected goals. 0.75 for Ronaldo. He's top. Morata in second. Kane in third. And Mbappe fourth. Interestingly, Arnautovic fifth. Fulkirk, Havertz, Yamal, Grekarish from Austria. Fernandez, Rodri, Williams. Rodri, interestingly, a lot of people kind of tossing up between Rodri and Williams. They're both on the same. Baumgartner is ahead of Sabitzer, but by 0.2%. So, yeah, not too much in those ones to definitely kind of call on that one. What questions have we had? I have Pickford in goal. For my second goalkeeper, do I go for a France or Portugal keeper? I would probably go Portugal. There you go. Would you swap Pickford with Costa for the next day if Pickford gets 6 points? No. There's very limited upside to goalkeeper returns. Realistically, most you're ever going to get is 6. If you get 5 to... I'd say 4. Anything above 4, I'm sticking with for my goalkeepers because there's just not much upside. And it's same when it comes to the knockout rounds. When you're looking at transfers and where to prioritise, goalkeepers are at the bottom of my list. Because the max ceiling most of them will ever get is 6. If they get a clean sheet. If they pick up some saves, great. They could make it to 7 or 8. But there's not too much upside. Defenders, definitely more upside in this game with ball recovery numbers plus clean sheets. Midfielders, obviously goals, assists, ball recoveries, all that stuff. There is more upside in doing that than going for the goalkeeper ones. Is Mittelstadt a good choice? Probably not. Probably not. Do keep the questions coming in, guys. They are flying in. So if I do miss any, put them in again a little bit later. Don't spam, though. If anyone spams in the chat, you will get yourself muted. We need to get some moderators in this chat. We do need to get some moderators. So if any of the channel members are kicking about and you want to become a moderator, let me know, because we're probably going to start to need some soon, because things are getting a little bit busy in this chat. A little bit busy. But do keep the likes coming in, keep the subscriptions coming in, all that good stuff. Jesus, the chat is just moving ridiculously quick. Should I sub out Virgil van Dijk to get Carvajal or Cucurella? I think both are very good shouts. Musiala or Wirtz, who do I captain? Wirtz could be one of the players that does have to make way for Fulkrug, so might be probably one to drop. Where do you find those goal scoring probability stats? It comes from this guy here, Rob T FPL. He goes and does all the research, so go and give him a follow on Twitter. Kane or Gakpo, probably would go for... I'm edging more towards Gakpo. I think Netherlands would look better going forward in terms of goals. Do you consider Bellingham? No. Pedri or Williams? I think both are pretty even. I think Williams slightly edges it for me. Same questions being repeated a lot. Mo, I don't remember you. I'm only going to make people channel moderators if they are members of the channel. That's what we're going to do. I don't think we've got anyone in here who is a channel member at the moment, but if you do want to become a channel member, it does cost 99p. It's very easy. You do get priority in the chat when it does start to get a little bit busy. Obviously, now we're starting to hand out moderator roles in the chat as well, so if you do want to become one of those, sign up for membership. 99p, but being a subscriber, that's good enough for me. That is good enough for me. I'm very happy. Like I said, we're closing in on that 5k. Yeah, we're edging closer. You know, we're getting some good edging done today. Morata or Kane or Ronaldo? Probably Ronaldo out of all of those for me personally. Yeah. Sane instead of Wirtz could very much be an option, seeing it on Twitter. Jan Sommer and Bastoni or Donnarumma and Akanji. Both seem to kind of contradict each other there, so I think there's better picks around that one. Will Italy keep a clean sheet? Obviously, as you can see here, 36% probability, so it's okay-ish numbers, but not the best. What advice would you give to me? I have Yamal, Mbappe, Fernandes, Nico Williams, Musiala, Gundo. Mittelstadt could be dropped. So that is probably the one change I'd definitely make out of that one. De Bruyne, probably not. Do you not remember me? Not really, mate. Not really. I get a lot of people in these streams. Yeah, unfortunately, mate. Unless you're probably a channel member or someone that was around from the start when we first started streaming about a year ago. But yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, unless you're in here. Ronaldo or Morata? Probably I'm edging more towards Ronaldo. I need a 7th player from England's side of the bracket. Would you go for a 4th English player, 3rd Dutch, or 2nd Austrian? I'd gamble on a 2nd Austrian or Italian one. Thoughts on Lenormand from Spain? Yeah, decent options. Edging on a live stream would be fire. That's how we're going to celebrate getting 5k subs. We're just going to edge. Do you think Cucurella will probably get 90 minutes? No, I don't. Do you lose 2 points for 2 yellow cards? Well, you lose an extra point, I think, for a red. So, yeah. Is DeMarco an option? No, it's been reported widely that he's injured, so definitely not an option. Definitely not an option. My front three is Morata, Gakpo, and Mbappe. Should I swap out Ronaldo? Probably not, unless you're on a wild card. Morata or Kane, probably depends. If you're on a wild card, Morata. If you're not, Kane. Get this man to 5k. Bro, we're closing in. Whoo, we're closing in. Bruno or Silva, I'd probably go for Bruno Fernandes on that one. Yamal or Morata, I would probably go Morata. All the data is suggesting he's got a higher probability of scoring than Yamal, so we'd go with that one. We would go with that one. Do keep the likes coming in, guys. Keep the subscriptions coming in. Keep all that good stuff rolling. Keep the questions coming in as well. Yeah, like we said, we're closing in on that 5k subscriber mark, guys. Absolutely immense. Absolutely immense. Like I said, there will be a deadline stream at 3. I'm going to take a little break in about 5 or so minutes. But I will be back for 3 o'clock with a deadline stream. So get yourself along to that one. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, like I said, do subscribe and smash that bell notification. Is De Bruyne a good choice? And if not, who do I replace? I don't think he's a good choice. Belgium have a very low chance of progressing, low data as well. There's plenty of good midfield options. The likes of people from Netherlands, Portugal, Spain and Germany. Thoughts on Kane, Mbappe and Gakpo front? It's an alright front three, yeah. So Mittelstadt is a no. No, I probably would put him a no if we're getting rumours that he's going to be benched. I prefer Silva. Bruno is just too deep. Fair enough. Each to their own. I'm just offering my advice. Take it or leave it. That's up to you. That is completely up to you. Arnautovic or Kane? Kane for me. What about Yamal, Morata and Ronaldo? I think it would have to be one of Yamal or Morata, not both. Gakpo or Kane? Depends if you're on a wild card or not. I think you could take a punt on Gakpo this week. I just think England more a wait and see team. Would you risk going for Unai Simons and Pickford so you don't need to transfer in the future? I mean, it's not guaranteed that both these teams are going to get through. There is going to be some upsets. There is. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. Oh, no. When I'm saying wildcard, I mean next week, if that makes sense. So when I'm saying like, oh, if you're going to wildcard next week, that's what I mean by that. Obviously, everyone's got unlimited transfers this week, but what you would be doing if you've still got it left is obviously loading your team up this week, like pretty stacked with Spain players, Portugal players, you know, all these teams, kind of stacking it more towards that, and then just kind of like firing it. That's kind of where my mind's at with that one more a little bit. But yeah, there you go. Any advice for someone who has no chips left? Probably build a team that's a little bit more spread out. That's kind of what I've done. I know there's obviously some stacks of Spain, Portugal, Germany, but I'm kind of looking at teams that I think could progress quite far in this tournament. Obviously, we get free transfers next week, but at the same time, I am trying to keep it a little bit spread, kind of, you know, trying to focus on teams that could progress through quite far in this tournament. So yeah, that's the thought with that one. Rank my defenders. Gahey, Carvajal, Cucurella and Walker probably about the same, so I'd probably put Ake above them. There you go. Is Akanji worth getting? Yeah, he's a decent shout. Okay-ish data for a clean sheet. Good ball recovery numbers though. Maybe get Pepe for ball recoveries. I could do, to be fair. But again, that probably would mean then that I'm quad Portugal for next week, and I don't really want to be in that position. No, I don't think the wildcard's necessarily useless. It acts more like a free hit. I think if they called it a free hit, it would probably be a little bit better. Are you chipless? I am indeed. I am indeed. I am indeed chipless. Like I said, chipless for this for the rest of the tournament. Right, guys, I think we're going to leave it there. I'm going to go and take a quick break. I'll be back at 3 o'clock on the deadline stream. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, subscribe now. Hit that bell notification so you will be notified when I do go live at 3 o'clock. Maybe it'll be a little bit earlier. I don't know. We're just going to go and kind of get a little bit of food, have a little bit of a drink, go to the toilet, cool down a little bit because the window's closed and it's like 20 degrees in England at the moment. So it's quite hot. But yeah, like I said, we're going to be back for 3 o'clock. So like I said, hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell as well so you will be notified when I do come back. At 3 o'clock for the deadline stream, we will be doing team reviews. We will be answering as many of your guys' questions and, of course, looking through as much data as possible. But thank you, everyone who's come out to the preview stream so far. We will be live at 3 o'clock, like I said. I'm just going to go and give my voice a little bit of time to recover, go and get a drink, refresh myself up, but we will be back for 3 o'clock.